You have fire in your gut? Okay, we're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast.
And welcome back to the latest greatest episode of the Shaving Points podcast. My name is Jayden May, joined as always by my co-host Quentin Crisco, and it is Halloween, so we're going to do just a quick 10 to 15 minute podcast for y'all going through all the games of the week with our favorite picks. And Thursday Night Football is currently going on right now, so I had Texans money line in that one. And what did you have?
I did as well. Texans money line.
Okay.
Hopefully it pays out for us.
We got a 10 to 14 game right now in the third quarter, so let's go nice. First game we have on the docket, though, Cowboys versus Falcons. Falcons are 2.5 point favorites, 51.5 point total here. I'm taking the over 51.5 in this game. I think both teams are going to be able to score. Cowboys defense is absolutely horrendous, so I think the Falcons have no problem getting in about that 30 range. And Cowboys can definitely score in garbage time. They've proven that all season in the Ravens game last week against the 49ers. So I think one way or the other, Cowboys will be able to get up into that high 20 range, keep this thing close. I don't like the spread, but I love the over.
Yeah, I'm staying away from this one. Slight lean to the Falcons, and a decent lean to the over. I strongly consider the over here, but ultimately I decided to stay away. I could see a lot of different things happening in this game with the way it ends up. I do think Dak's worth at least garbage time yards and points if the Falcons take an early lead. But, Kirk Cousins hasn't really been good against good teams at all. And not questionable whether the Cowboys are a good team, but I don't know. They got the coaching that makes me think they can figure stuff out at random moments. So I'm staying away.
The Cowboys, all their games have been somewhat close this year. So next up, we have Dolphins, Bills. Bills 6.5 point favorites at home, 49.5 point total. I'm taking the Dolphins here. I think they got a little bit of life with Tua coming back. They always play the Bills somewhat close, and they're a completely different team when Tua is on the field. He played decent last week. Cardinals played a great game against them, but I think they can go out there. I think they can keep it close, and I like them that 6.5 number getting a touchdown plus the hook. So,
yeah, if I'm going to bet this game, I'm betting the Bills at home at 6.5 for that hook. But I don't like that number for this. I think the Dolphins are, pretty desperate right now. They probably they wouldn't rush Tua back if they didn't believe that they could win some games, right? So
that division or the entire AFC is definitely up for grabs right now. So
yeah, so I'm staying away from this. I don't like Bills minus 6.5. I don't really want to take Dolphins plus 6.5. If it was 7, I might consider it. Only thing that I might consider here is the over, but I'm staying away from that.
Also, side note, how good has Joe Mixon been for the Texans this year? It's crazy. Next up, we got Saints, Panthers. Panthers plus 7 at home, 44.5 point total. Bryce Young is back in the fold, and Andy Dalton healthy, not going to start. That's good, I guess. Let the young kid go out there and see what you got in him. Division game here. I'm not touching this one. I have no idea. The Saints are bad. The Panthers are bad. 7 point spread's a lot for two bad teams, but I think the Saints might be able to outbad the Panthers. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a gross game.
Yeah, ultimately, I don't want to touch this. I have a lean towards the Saints minus 7, but it's in Carolina. They're trading guys away. They're giving young guys opportunities. Those are the moments when a young guy suddenly surprises and go, hey, they only lost by 6. I don't want to touch that. Two bad teams, very unpredictable, a lot of unpredictability around it, and a lot of players who are trying to play to prove something against an opponent. Both sides think they can win this game. So at 7, I'm not touching it.
All right, next up, we got Raiders, Bengals. Bengals 7.5 point favorites at home, 45.5 point total. Raiders are absolute terrible right now. I mean, I don't even have the words for it. Bengals, I mean, we've been saying it for weeks now. They got to start winning some games. I'm not taking this one, but I mean, this feels like if the Bengals mess around and lose this one, it might be over for them.
Yeah, I want to take the Bengals. 7.5 is just too big a number. I really didn't like the slate a lot this week. I've got 5 bets for you guys. we've only touched on one, and that was Thursday Night Football so far. But like this, I can't in good faith take the Bengals minus 7.5 right now after the season they've put up so far.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Chargers, Browns. Browns 1.5 point dogs at home, 42.5 point total. I'm taking the Browns money line here solely because the Chargers are a 500 football team. Justin Herbert is a 500 quarterback. They won last week. They're going to get back to even this week with a loss. Browns money line plus 115. Jameis Winston breathing life into this franchise. Give me the Browns. Give me the money line. Give me Chargers back to 500. It's the easiest bet in professional sports right now. Chargers, anytime they're a game up or a game back at 500, just bet them to get back to even, and you'll be a millionaire.
I thought about taking Browns money line here. Maybe there's a little momentum building with Jameis in at quarterback, but I think the thing you're forgetting is Jameis Winston is also a 500 quarterback, and both these teams are coming off wins. So
Jameis Winston is 5-2 in his last 7 starts with 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and I think like 650 yards.
So you're telling me he's overdue to get back to 500?
I'm saying maybe we have a changed Jameis. We haven't seen Jameis.
I don't know. So much of those stats were like. So much of those stats were 2 games where like Sean Payton had him doing wild shit and then he got hurt.
Hey, all I'm saying is last time we saw him start a full season, he was half blind and couldn't see linebackers. He got LASIK, and we haven't seen him start consecutive or for an extended stretch since he got LASIK surgery. Maybe that's all he needed. Maybe he was just out there blind.
Maybe. I'm staying away from this game because I don't trust Jameis at quarterback as much as I want to take the Browns. The Browns had a bunch of injuries.
Browns got to win
injuries.
Browns got to win a lot more games to get back to 500. Chargers just have to lose this one.
Good point. Browns had a bunch of injuries come in last week, which their defense is severely impacted. I'm not sure what.
It's also Halloween week.
It is. It's Myles Garrett week.
Myles Garrett's week. Yep. All right, next up with Giants, Commanders. Giants home dogs, 3.5 points, 43.5 point total here. I want to take the Commanders here, but I'm staying away from it. Giants Commanders is always a gross, yucky game. Giants defensive line is good enough to muck it up, keep it nasty. And I think Aiden Daniels is getting away with a lot of stuff right now that maybe he's not going to be able to get away with long term. So I think this is definitely a rat line for Commanders bettors, but I'm staying away from it.
Yeah, ultimately here, like I want to bet Giants. I really want to bet Giants on this because I feel like the Commanders stole a win last week. Ball don't lie. I don't know that I feel like it's going to come back on them, and I feel like the Giants played so tough last week. But
did the Commanders still win last week? Because granted, they did have to hit the Hail Mary to win the game, but I mean, they won that game every which way outside of having to hit the Hail Mary at the end.
I mean, I don't know. The Bears hit the red zone more than the Commanders did by
That's 3-1. Commanders short field offense is absolutely abysmal.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not taking it. I want to so badly. I just don't trust Daniel Jones enough. So,
yeah. And I didn't watch that full game, but every
Giants money line.
Every time I turned on that game, it looked like the Commanders were dominating, but then the score just never moved.
Yeah, no, I mean, they didn't. They basically, the Bears played their worst game of the season. The Commanders also might have played their worst game of the season, but the Bears took a legitimate lead at the end, and the Commanders got the Hail Mary. So, like, I might sprinkle Giants money line. I'm not putting down my official plays, though.
Yeah. All right, next up, grossest game of the week, Patriots, Titans. Titans -3 at home, 37.5 point total. Drake May looks really good. But I still don't trust Patriots damn near enough to bet them on this game. And the Titans,
is Titans even going to play?
Is he hurt?
He's in concussion
protocol. I forgot he went out last week and they brought in Brisket. Yeah, that makes me even. I was going to have this game regardless. I'm definitely avoiding it now. I forgot about that. Yeah, Titans. The Titans they're just a really aggressive team that can play anybody close, but they're not going to win a whole lot of games. So hopefully they can find themselves a quarterback at some point because they might be building something there.
Yeah, I mean, I like the
Some
Titans
bad
roster. I
trades,
feel
though.
like they're overdue to win a game. They're at home against another bad team, but again, I'm looking at two bad teams with a lot of variables here, a lot of unknown. I can't, in good faith, say bet the Titans
Either
here, bet
side.
the Patriots here. I
Yeah.
just, if I'm being frank, my favorite bet in this game is probably the under 37.5, and that's just too sicko to put out there. All right, moving on. We got Broncos,
Yeah.
Ravens. Ravens minus 9.5, total of 44.5. Jay, you're kind of cutting out on us here, so I'm not getting any audio. But on this game, there's some question about Lamar's status here in this game right now. I believe I think he got
Okay.
banged up last week, and the Broncos they've been heating up. They've been good, but I don't know if I can trust them to go into Baltimore. I don't know. I feel weird about this one because I feel like I should like the Broncos enough here to cover 9.5, almost 10, but I don't. I don't trust Bo Nix against this defense as much as Bo Nix has been playing pretty well. I don't trust to continue against a talented defense like Baltimore has.
Yeah, I'm not taking this game. I would probably lean Ravens just because I don't believe in the Broncos at all, but that defense is for real.
Yeah, and then moving on. Bears, Cardinals.
Cardinals 1.5 point favorites at home, 44.5 point total. Yeah, so I want to take the Cardinals here, but I'm not betting against the Bears. Otherwise, I would love the Cardinals in this spot. But I can't bet against the Bears. Bears got to get this win. So I can't do it, but I kind of like the Cardinals.
I'm taking Bears plus 1.5. This is a make or break game for Matt Eberflus. Like, he needs to win this game. He is under so much heat right now from the media, from the players. It seems like he might be losing the locker room. Like, this is a must-win moment for Matt Eberflus, and I trust that they'll win it. So I'm taking Bears plus 1.5. I'm also taking the over 44.5 because I think the Cardinals are going to keep it close enough throughout most of the game. And I think the Bears are going to put up well over 20 in this game. Like, I think they're going to be pushing 30 points in this game. So
Love it.
So ultimately, I'm hoping we see Matt Eberflus get his first Sunday road victory as a Bears head coach, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, who needs that? All right, next up we have Jaguars, Eagles. Eagles minus 7 at home, 45.5 point total. I like the Jaguars here. I'm not taking them though, but I've been betting against the Eagles for 3 weeks straight, and maybe that's a bad strategy, but I just don't think they're that good. But we'll see. I lean the Jaguars here, but I'm not taking it.
I lean the Eagles. Jaguars are throwing up white flags all over. They're trading starters. They're saying our season's done. I mean, maybe someone will step in there and fill in just fine, but like I don't like the vibes that are coming off the Jaguars right now. I really like the vibes coming off the Eagles. I'm not betting this game, but I do have a pretty decent lean towards the Eagles on this one.
Fly, Eagles, fly, your hometown team.
Yes, sir.
All right, next up we got Lions, Packers. Packers at home, plus 3.5 point dogs at Lambeau Field against the Lions. 47.5 point total. Aren't the Lions on a winning streak against the Packers right now?
Are they?
Thought they definitely won 2 years ago, last game of the season to keep the Packers out of the playoffs, and I thought they swept last year.
They
I could be
probably
wrong.
are.
I thought they
I'll
swept
tell you
last
in a
year.
sec. I think they are.
I could be wrong, but I know they won the last game of the season 2 years ago because it kept the Packers out, but then the Lions messed out.
Packers beat them last November.
Oh, okay.
But
Not
they'd
the winning
won
streak.
4 straight before that.
Oh, so it was almost 5 straight.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm still taking the Packers here, plus 3.5. I think out of all the teams right now in the league, I think who's their coach? I think Matt LaFleur is putting on a clinic right now. I think he might be the best coach in the league currently. And the Lions just get way too cute with it. They are such a good team, but they're going to get themselves in trouble here pretty soon with how cute they get. And I think it could be this week. And you're giving me 3.5 with a red hot Packers team. I like the Packers at home in this spot.
There is some question with Jordan Love. Strained his groin last week. He hasn't been practicing this week.
I'm not even worried about that.
At least
is
limited.
Jordan Love even good?
I don't know. I mean, he might be better than Malik Willis. I don't know. Malik Willis has been coming in and playing just fine when Jordan Love's been out. I'm taking Packers plus 3.5. Matt LaFleur is something like 6-1 as a home dog, as Green Bay Packers head coach. Like, you do not bet against the Packers on a number larger than 3. Here, you just don't. At Lambeau Field, this is weird shit happens at Lambeau. I'm convinced they have the visiting locker room mic'd up and they can hear everything you're saying. Weird stuff happens there. It is so hard to win at Lambeau and to cover as a favorite at Lambeau. That's just asking a lot. Give me Packers plus 3.5.
I hate them.
Me too.
All right, next up we have Rams, Seahawks. Seahawks plus 1.5, 48.5 point total. The Rams, I don't know if Vegas knows anything about this Rams team. Their spreads are the most back and forth every single week. And I understand they're getting guys back, getting guys healthy, having guys injured, all this. But
this number might have changed today with the Puka news.
Oh, yeah, because he might not play again.
Mm-hmm. Same knee.
Yeah, it is but the Rams just go their betting numbers have just been so volatile this year. I'm staying away from. I don't know what Rams team we're going to get. I don't know what Seahawks team we're going to get. It seems like you should take the Seahawks at home in this spot as a dog, but I can't do it.
I'm gonna bet Seahawks money line. Screw it. They're coming off an ugly loss. I think they're going to be prepared for this. It's not on my card, but I'm just going to add it right here, right now. Give me Seahawks money line. It's still plus money. The spread is still plus 1.5 for after the Puka news.
I'm seeing it right now. It's still showing 1.5 on the book I'm looking at as well. Yeah. So
money line's minus 104. So on FanDuel, I'm snagging it.
All right, next up we have Colts, Vikings. Vikings minus 5.5 at home, 45.5 point total here. I think the Colts have some life, especially with Joe Flacco starting. Is Jonathan Taylor back healthy?
Yeah, he's back out there.
Okay. Yeah, give me the Colts in this spot plus 5.5. I think they have what it takes to keep this game close. I think the Vikings are kind of getting exposed a little bit as being a fraudulent team. I think they're still good. I think the Vikings are going to be a competitive team in the NFC playoffs, but they're definitely not the undefeated team we saw a couple of weeks ago, or that some people maybe thought they were. But I think the Colts have more than enough there to cover a 5.5 number. So I like the Colts in the spot.
I'm with you. I think the Vikings are turning into a bit of they're reverting back to where kind of we thought they should be entering the season. Probably still better than where I thought they should be. I underrated them coming into the year, but I do think some of the cracks are starting to show here. And Indy plus 5.5, the elite Joe Flacco coming back to the rescue. Like, I think that's an easy decision. Give me Colts plus 5.5.
And this could be the last time we ever see Joe Flacco in primetime in our lives. So take it in.
Take it in.
All right, next up we have Buccaneers, Chiefs. Chiefs minus 9.5 at home, 44.5 point total. Chiefs are a weird team. I cannot bet them in good faith as almost double-digit favorites. I think they're going to win the game. I think they do. I think they win the game no problem. Even if they're down in the fourth quarter, I think they win easily. Could they cover 9.5? Yes. But will they?
They didn't cover it against the Raiders. I mean,
I'm
with you. I'm not betting this because, like, I don't trust the Chiefs, and I just don't know what the Bucs are. I'm worried that the Bucs unloaded the chamber last week.
I hate betting. I hate betting big favorites like this, where I'm like, I don't have any doubt in my mind that the Chiefs win this game. I just don't know if they'll cover. I hate betting that line.
Mm-hmm. Right. And like I look at the Bucks, they were unloading like flea flickers and trick plays last week. I don't know what they have left
they're
up
so
their
injured
sleeve without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out there. So
yeah, they're
I'm avoiding this.
All right, now we got college football. I'm taking the Penn State Nittany Lions at home versus Ohio State plus 3.5. I think this is the year. Maybe Penn State gets it done. Ohio State hasn't looked great. Will Howard hasn't looked great. Will Howard has also pissed down his leg in big games in the past, and that was in the Big 12. I don't know if Will Howard's playing this weekend. I think he's dealing with an injury, and so is Drew Aller. So we'll see. But I like Penn State at that spot. I just wish it wasn't a noon game. That's almost criminal. Next up, I have Duke plus 21.5 at Miami. I've been fading Miami these last couple of weeks, and they're starting to cover. I still don't think they're as good as their undefeated record. I think Duke is feisty, so I think they can keep it close. And then I have Nebraska minus 6.5 versus UCLA. UCLA going across the country. Give me Nebraska after a tough loss. They had the ball to win against Ohio State in the fourth quarter and couldn't get it done. So I think they get it done versus UCLA and cover that number 6.5. And then next up, I have my monster well play can't lose bet of the century. Give me Army Air Force over 41.5 for 10 units. Okay, so Army has gone over this number by themselves 5 times this season, and another time scored 37. So in 6 games this year, they were 37.5 points. Air Force has given up over 30 points 4 different times this year. We're talking about a 41.5 point total here. I absolutely think Army can get up to that 35-40 range. If Air Force scores 10 points, this is going over. So, yeah, I love over 41.5. Devontae Adams just scored. Hit both my plays.
I've got Texas Tech going to Iowa State. Give me Texas Tech plus 14.5, not minus, plus 14.5. Tulane going to Charlotte. Give me Tulane minus 16.5. Minnesota going to Illinois. Give me the Illinois money line, and I've got that at plus 125. Then Kansas State going to Houston. Give me K-State minus 12.5. Indiana going to Michigan State. Give me Indiana minus 7.5. And Ohio State, Penn State. I'll be there. I'm going to will Penn State to this cover. I promise. I don't promise. I don't know if I can actually do that, but I'll be praying from the stands. Penn State plus 3.5.
You hear that, Happy Valley? Guaranteeing it.
Guaranteeing it.
All right. Well, that'll be it for this week. We'll be back to long form next week with a full breakdown of the entire slate and about an hour and a half, 2 hours also with our short podcast. This one went a little bit longer than our normal 15 minutes, but we didn't have the long one this week. So we still kept it under 30 minutes for y'all. So thank y'all so much. And we will see y'all next week. And don't sleep on the Cardinals, or maybe sleep on the Cardinals this week.
Still don't sleep on them, but this week I'm taking Bears.
I'll just hit 2 parlays with Devontae Adams 40-yard touchdown, but lost my Texans money line. So
caca.
See y'all next week. Caca.
That's how we've won all year, team, right? Because you held them to 20 points, man. Yes, you gave us a chance at the end. I got 3 words for you. You like that? Yeah!